Good morning, everyone. We now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Amahara ni kanzumarimasu kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite tsume miyoya kamu izanagi no mikoto tsukushi no himuka no tachi hana no odo no ahagi hara ni Misogi harai tamo toki ni narimaseru. Harai dono o kami tachi moro moro no magabuto tsumi kegareo. Harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sukoto no yoshio. Amatsu kami kunitsu kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomo ni ame no fuji koma no mimi furi tatete kiko shimese to kashi komi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hai tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hai tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hai tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hai tamae. Kam nagara tamachi hai mase. Kam nagara tamachi hai mase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your praise. Please be seated for group Johrei. May the Meishu-sama bless you. Today's teaching is entitled Paradise on Earth. It's from Daily Inspirations, page 29. I'm doing my utmost to help fulfill God's marvelous plan of establishing paradise on earth, a civilization in which disease, poverty, and conflict no longer exist. Will be a paradise on earth. Paradise on earth is a world where truth, virtue, and beauty manifest in perfect form. The aim of our spiritual movement is to establish a paradise on earth by helping to create and promote a spiritual civilization that will develop alongside our present material civilization. Paradise on earth is the phrase I have used to describe a world free from disease, poverty, and conflict. A world that has long been the ideal of humanity. Over the ages, spiritual leaders from various cultures have prophesied the advent of such a world without specifying a time frame for the realization of such ideals. However, I have become aware of the fact that the moment is close at hand. It would be extremely fortunate for humanity if paradise on earth could be established without any major changes. The truth is, however, that in order for our ideal world to be realized, the cleansing of the present world must first be accomplished, just as an old house must be razed and the site cleared before a new house can be built. There will be a number of parts from the old structure that will still be usable and thus be spared, but their selection, of course, is up to God. To survive, all human beings must become useful members of the new civilization. By doing so, we can surmount this great change and pass God's test. This can only be achieved through faith in God. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. Today I have two faith experiences I would like to share with you. First one is starting from Isabel Stephanie Mendes. She's from the Oporto Johrei Center, Portugal. Isabel was born in France and has lived in Portugal for 14 years. She got to know our church through a friend, thanks to her daughter's health problem, which was resolved in a short time through Johrei. She's on her second marriage. Her first marriage, when she was still living in Paris, was full of problems, even though she had a great financial condition. In short, she had a lot of money, cars, houses, but she wasn't happy. God for her did not exist. She never had an education that she could believe in his existence. With that, she became an arrogant, extremely materialistic, and self-centered person. When she was introduced to Meishu-sama's work, she immediately had an identification. She started to attend church practically every day, receiving Johrei and reading the teachings of God revealed to Meishu-sama. Over time, she gave service in several ways, making flowers of light, nature farming, and general cleaning of the Johrei Center. Although she dedicated in these ways, on a certain day, her minister asked her if she had any commitment to these dedications. She said no. And the minister explained to her the big difference in dedicating just when one feels like it, and opposite to that, when one creates a commitment. Thus, she made a commitment to God and Meishu-sama to carry out every morning a cleaning dedication at the Johrei Center. In the beginning, she carried out these activities out of a certain obligation for having committed herself. But even so, she was persistent. In many moments, she thought about giving up, but she moved on. The reality is that 3 months after she made this commitment, she clearly feels that her life has changed for the better. Now, she sees herself as a more human person, with more humility and with a heart in the process of softening. Because before, she used to say naturally that she had no heart. Today, she can say that she believes in the existence of a higher being called God. Today, she recognizes that she is a representative of thousands of ancestors to present this great truth to others. Through all this change, she made the firm decision to receive the sacred focal point, or Hikari, as a way to express her gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for everything it was provided to her, to make her an even more useful person in the divine work for the happiness of others. With this experience, Isabel learned how important commitment to God and Meishu-sama is in our life. Before, she gave service when she felt like it, but only when she made a firm commitment, her way of thinking changed. She started to do things thinking about the good of others and not with a feeling of doing what has to be done. She intends from now on, in addition to guiding others to our church, to do the same thing it was done to her, that is, follow up on them so they can also enjoy this happiness that she feels today. Isabel is very thankful to the Supreme God and Meishu-sama for this immense opportunity, and her minister and all the people who gave support on her spiritual journey. Very nice experience from the Porto Johrei Center from Isabel Mendes. And the second experience I would like to share with you is from Priscila de Andrade. She's from Vila Matilde Johrei Center, Brazil. In November 2018, 20 years after her first panic attack, Priscilla felt the same symptoms one more time, but with much greater intensity. At the same time, a picture of deep depression manifested in her. She began psychiatric follow-ups, and for over a year she took strong medications, reaching 12 pills a day, without getting better. She had panic attacks, fear, and anxiety almost daily. In September 2019, she was in a strong crisis when she decided to call a friend she trusts deeply. She talked about her suffering and asked for help. This friend of hers is a Johrei member who talked about Johrei and mentioned how much good it could do to Priscilla. She got the address of the nearest Johrei center and visited there the very same day with her daughter. She was received by a missionary who talked and instructed her to receive Johrei for at least an hour every day. She followed the guidance received, and after a week, she could see changes. She felt like getting ready to go to the Johrei Center and started to smile, something she had not done in a long time. Panic attacks only occurred this time on a weekly basis. She gained confidence in Johrei, and after just a month of church attendance, she began to participate in membership classes and started reading Meishu-sama's teachings. She was blessed to participate in the annual ancestor service, having the names of her loved ones who are already in the spiritual realm placed on the altar, which brought her great peace of mind. Finally, in December 2019, she received the sacred focal point, or Hikari. From then on, she began giving service by channeling Johrei at the Johrei Center and in her home. During the pandemic, she dedicated her home, constantly channeling Johrei to her family members and participating in our online services. With the gradual reopening of the Johrei Center, she's returning to face-to-face dedications. Currently, she's a cheerful person and always shows a smile on her face. She feels safe, and the panic and anxiety attacks are gone. She continues with medical follow-ups, and her medication has been reduced to minimal doses just for maintenance. Priscilla is very thankful to God and Meishu-sama for blessing her to achieve physical and spiritual health. Today, she's convinced that Johrei really has the power to transform lives. For this reason, her commitment is to serve through the transmission of the divine light, to make the greatest number of people happy. Very nice also experience from Priscilla of Villa Matilde Johrei Center. She mentioned in her experience about filling out a form with the ancestors' names for the annual ancestor service. We have our own upcoming annual ancestor service, first weekend of September. Soon if you are in our mailing list, you're going to receive this form so you can start thinking about your ancestors to include their names. It's very important not to forget anyone. Even before you receive this form, I suggest that you have any form that you like in your computer, in a piece of paper. Start writing the names, the family names, the individual names, so no one will be forgotten. You can even include friends in the process to be included in this form, but please give priority that you don't forget any ancestor. This prayer form is like an invitation. And during this service, all those who have the invitation are allowed to enter the premises. Those who are not, they have to stay outside. So you don't want any of the ancestors to be waiting outside with a frustrated feeling of my descendant, did they include my name? I was not allowed to join the service. We believe that things in the spiritual realm can be very strict and that the order is very clearly defined. So that's my suggestion. Start doing your homework right now in preparation for one of the most important services of the year, the annual ancestor service. Thank you very much for attending the service, for listening to these words. I wish you a very wonderful day, very blessed week, and with this concludes our morning service. Thank you very much.